I think a lot of men right now believe they lack purpose. They think they're behind or misaligned or not disciplined enough. But I don't think that's the real issue. I think there's something else that is destabilizing them. Because you can be processing, you can be training, you can be disciplined, you can be building, but you can also still feel slightly unanchored. It's not that you're dramatically broken or something uh, is wrong with who you are fundamentally, but you just feel this quiet discomfort. You're just not fully settled. And I think the thing that we're misdiagnosing here is this: brotherhood is a structural requirement for male identity stability, and isolation is often misdiagnosed as discipline. Something has shifted in the last couple of years. We've never been more connected, yet we've never felt more unstable or disconnected. We hear the phrase lose yourself, and maybe lately you felt a little lost. You might think it's because you haven't found your purpose, or your work started to lose meaning, or your life feels slightly hollow right now. But if I want to be honest with you, that's most of us today. But what if the instability is not about purpose, money, or position? What if it's about brotherhood? Without brotherhood, something in a man slowly destabilizes. Not externally, everything could look good on the outside, but internally. And anyone who's experienced real brotherhood knows this instinctively. When it's there, something in you settles. You feel rested. And when it's absent, the opposite happens. You attempt to regulate yourself alone, and the weight stays entirely on your shoulders. There's no one to distribute the emotional load with, and no one can reality check you. No one challenges you without rejecting you. So you regulate yourself in isolation, and over time it becomes heavier than it needs to be. So what we do is we hustle harder, we tighten the mask, we tell ourselves we're focused, um, but underneath all of that, something drifts, right? Because identity needs something stable to attach to, like a mission or a shared struggle, or a collective standard held by yourself or others. Because without that, identity starts fragmenting. So you start crafting and breaking new versions of yourself on repeat, like new routines, new philosophies, new aesthetics, new direction, searching for grounding that never really fully arrives. Because without a witness, meaning begins to fade. And when meaning fades, identity weakens. Let's be clear about what I mean by brotherhood. To me, brotherhood is not networking. It's not surface level accountability, and it's definitely not men talking to each other once a week about their goals. In my opinion, brotherhood is a feeling of deep bonding and belonging to a circle of individuals at a spiritual level on their journeys to self-actualization. It's a true intellectual and spiritual connection with others where three or more people agree almost unconsciously to suffer, endure, keep each other in check, and support each other. A brotherhood feels like a second home to a man, a place to put down his guard and just be, where being wrong is fine and correction does not feel like we're being rejected. It comes with love. So it's really a safe space that meets you right where you are, accepts you, but also challenges you. And the nice part too is it's where individual weaknesses are balanced by others' natural strengths. There's something structural happening here. We talked about what brotherhood is. Let's talk about what brotherhood does. Humans regulate each other. When we're around people we trust, we become socially safe. Our threat detection lowers, the stress response decreases, the emotional load distributes, and naturally the weight we carry becomes lighter. What a brotherhood does really is it holds us steady through the volatility of life. Emotional stability emerges collectively, not individually. Now, second, a true brotherhood often includes battle-tested mentors who mirror our potential and show us our blind spots. Every member becomes both mentor and mentee at once. That's radical accountability dynamic. iron sharpens iron, which makes you want to keep your word because someone sees you. You don't drift quietly. A brotherhood acts as a psychological anchor because when struggle is shared, risk becomes possible. And what happens to identity is it stabilizes because it's consistently mirrored. Without mirror, identity becomes self referential, and self referential identity drifts. Now, you could be asking yourself, if brotherhood does all that, why does it feel so rare now? Brotherhood did not disappear because man stopped wanting connection. It became harder to sustain. Hardship used to force men together. War, building, survival. Today's modern life is very individual and comfortable. Entire days pass without meaningful contact. And unfortunately, comfort kills bonding. And here's what we hear in the self development industry today: be self made, don't need anyone. Now, that sounds strong, right? But it isolates. Here are the symptoms: we seek comfort, we stay in more. There's no one to witness our growth, our failures, or even our existence. And without a witness, meaning fades. So, what we do is we isolate harder, we romanticize solitude, and we call it discipline. Isolation feels productive, right? It's clean, efficient, controlled. But think about the last time you felt truly grounded. Not optimizing, not performing, just grounded, just being. You probably were not alone, right? You were with men who knew you, who could call you out, who could laugh at you. That kind of space settles you. Maybe what feels like lack of purpose is actually lack of brotherhood. Maybe what you're missing is not discipline or clarity or strategy. Maybe what you're missing is brothers. Men you can build with, sweat with, be wrong in front of, grow next to. If something in you felt unstable listening to this, maybe it's not because you haven't found your purpose. Maybe it's because you've been building without being witnessed. You've been building alone. And rebuilding that brotherhood does not happen accidentally, trust me. It happens through intention.